All right. So, hi guys. We're doing this off the cuff, another random video, because honestly, I feel like if I were to just come back without explaining things, again, I know it kind of sucks that I keep making these, but it's just kind of how my life is going. So, fun fact, remember how a few months back when I was like, hey, I'm back and I want to make like 2 videos a month? That was still the plan, but then life decided to throw me a giant curveball. And I do apologize if I sound very nasally right now. I'm like 99% sure I'm getting a cold. And I'm very, very upset about that. Oh, excuse the yawn. But yeah, you're getting raw Michi today. This is your first video of mine. I'm so sorry. I am trying to be more professional with my videos, but the universe just didn't have that planned. So you might be wondering, hey, where are the con reviews and where are the things going on? And you said that you were going to start posting again and yada yada yada. And I had full intentions to do that, but my health took a huge nosedive, giant nosedive, and it messed me up for like the entirety of this year for the most part. I'm doing better now. I know, obviously, I said I'm suddenly I'm getting sick again, so I have to hope that it's not the case. But it is what it is. I'm probably going to be yawning a lot as well because I've been, it sounds stupid to say I've been breathing a lot, but I learned that apparently you yawn a lot because, I don't know if this is just BS and my friend just told it to me, but it was like, oh yeah, you yawn a lot because you're not getting enough oxygen to your lungs or whatever, so your body's like, alright, time to yawn. But with all of my health issues and all of my stuff going on, so let's just backtrack. So at the start of January, I did ALA this year. And ironically enough, I don't think I ever posted ALA from last year because that was a bit of a mess. I did a lot of cons last year, a lot of artist alleys, but I didn't do videos on a lot of them because a lot of them were just kind of ups and downs and here's and there's. And so I will bring this up again when I actually do the proper review and things like that, and share it with you guys because I had a fun time. Had a great time. Had a great time meeting all of you guys and all that stuff. So, I did ALA. My friend Star Heavenly, Bat Bop. I don't remember. Kelsey's my friend too. I don't know where, but this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, bleh. I'm so out of practice. Sorry. But came out and they stayed for about 11 days. So, in total for the con, it was about 5 days because they showed up on day 0, I think. And so we got our badges set up, got all squared away, and did the convention. And the con was great. The con was a blast. Everything was fun. And then we did a lot of stuff because it was Sawyer's second time out here and Kelsey's first time out here. We had a lot of fun, but I ended up getting extremely sick. All the tests I took said it wasn't COVID, but I'm pretty sure it was COVID, even though the test said no. Or I had the neurovirus. I don't know, but literally, it it took me out for the entirety of January. This sickness messed me up so bad. I could not function well. I could not sleep right. I had awful insomnia, body aches. It was just awful. And then I later found out that someone at the con did in fact have COVID who was working the convention and didn't wear a mask the whole weekend. And hi, if you ever watch this or I ever find out that you knowingly know you have COVID and you go to a large populated event without a mask, I hate you. I'm. I know that's mean. I know you're not supposed to say those mean words, but no, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you, because even though a lot of people aren't talking about it anymore, it still messes a lot of people up because a lot of people aren't vaccinated, and stuff like that. And I get it. The world's awful right now, right? We all gotta work. We all gotta do stuff. But you're not even gonna wear a mask. Like it's one thing if you're not feeling too good or you're asymptomatic and you just don't know. I think it's completely different when you knowingly know you have the vid, knowingly work a highly populated area, like in Artist Alley or a convention, especially one as big as ALA. And I've heard from other Artist Alley friends of mine that this is happening kind of all over, where they're like, well, even if I have COVID, I still have to work it. It's like, I get that if you can't get a proxy or they have a rule against proxies, I get it. We gotta make our coin. The world sucks. Why aren't you wearing a mask? Why aren't you having hand sanitizer at your booth? Like, excuse me, Oh, sorry. I know that's like very frustrating, but when I say that January was awful for me because of this, like it destroyed me, which is why I think I either had the neurovirus or COVID, even though the test told me it wasn't COVID, because I have never been as sick as I was for as long as I was since I think the first time I got the vid. It was awful. And then when I finally started feeling a little better, which is the point of this video, I ended up, oh, by the way, sorry, warning, to anybody listening, I am an AFAB person, that is assigned female at birth. I have feminine, sexual organs. The reason why I bring this warning is because I'm going to be talking about certain things. We're all adults here, at least I hope you are. So if any of the topics of the feminine reproductive system upset you or are bothering or you just can't handle or you think is gross and icky, leave a like and a comment and dip out of here, because I'm going to be talking about stuff. I'm not going to go too in detail, but I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff because, y'all, I'm just tired. I'm tired and I'm old, and I just feel like if I do all the like uwu safe words of being like, he kind of also takes away from the severity of what I went through at the start of February, because it's literally my then February started off very rough. So I finally got better, right? Finally got better, and now for some important context to this story. So I am a person who, I'm also, like, I hate saying this, I have so many health issues. I'd love to get tested for it, but the medical system sucks. I'm pretty sure I have PCOS. I know a lot of people say that, but ever since I was a wee little bab with feminine reproductive organs, I have never once had a consistent. I have never had a consistent period. It just never happened. Until I was on different kinds of birth control at like 13, 14. It's the only times I've ever, and every time I've been on it, she just don't want to show up. I don't know. It's just how I've always been, which is why I'm pretty sure it's like PCOS on top of other things. But yeah. So needless to say, something came out, and all my millennials out there who've been on birth control for a very long time, apparently you're not supposed to be on the pill, at least one type of brand, for a long period of time. My doctor told me this. Because my doctor was very surprised that I've been on the one brand of pill that I've been on for so long. And he's like, that's really bad. You need to get off of it. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to get a period. It's kind of what happens. Like, once when I was like, 10 or 11, I developed early. I remember I literally went like 9, 10 months without getting one. And I was a very healthy, active kid that ate right, so there was no, like, other factors to it. That's just what I mean. Is sometimes it'll come by once a month, sometimes it'll pop by 2 times a month, sometimes it'll be like, who are you? But yeah, needless to say, all that's happening, right? So I told my doctor, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to get it. I'm just not going to get one. It's kind of what happens. And I was like, well, we want to get you on a regular cycle. So needless to say, went about 4 months without being on the pill. Didn't get my period. My husband is AMAB. And I am an adult who, while I am one of those asexuals I'm an asexual, sucks. Sorry again, I know I try not to be as crass in my videos, like, anymore, but I'm so done. I'm so done. And so, but we're always very safe, and I took preggy tests, always came back negative, and so told my doctor, I'm like, hey, haven't gotten the period in like 4 months. And the doctor's like, oh, that's not good. Let's put you back on the pill we took you off of. Again, this is a very important context for everything that's going to happen later. So in January, on top of being sick, I got put back on the pill. So I was finally going to get my period again right around the start of February. And I remember it was literally either the 1st or the 2nd. I can't remember which day exactly. But I'm also a person that when my cycle was regulated on the pill, I was able to always have like a warning day and have like a light flow, no pain, and just be like, kind of like a, hey buddy, hey, come here. Tomorrow's gonna be rough. And so that's kind of how my life's always been, right? But this time it didn't happen. And so I tried to rationalize myself. I'm like, well, haven't had it in like 4 months. And it was rough. It was very, very rough. It was very painful. It was very heavy. and it was bad. I think I ended a stream early, or I was hanging out with friend. No, my friend was doing a stream. That's what. Like, I was not feeling good. I had to go lay down. And then all of a sudden, I got hit with the cold sweats, which for people who don't get the period, that's not normal. You're not supposed to get cold sweats. And when I tell you, my cold sweats and cold chills were so bad. Also, important context for the story: my husband's not home, so this is important to the whole thing. I literally had to go into our closet, get into our camping gear, and unzip a sleeping bag to put on top of me. I live in Southern California, where the coldest it gets on average is like maybe 50 degrees at night in the winter. I don't know what that is in Celsius, I'm sorry. So it's cold, but it's not unbearable. It's not to the point where I had to have 2 blankets and an unzipped sleeping bag on top of me, because that's just how cold I was. And it hit me like a truck. It wasn't like normal, and I knew my apartment wasn't cold because I was having a normal-ish day. And so I laid down with all of the warmth, and I genuinely, when I say this, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I passed out, because it did not feel like I slept. I don't remember falling asleep, and I was only out for like an hour, maybe 2. So who knows? Maybe it was sleeping, but I'm just saying. For me, that's definitely not what it felt like. So all that's happening, right? And then when I wake up, I now have immense pain in my front region and in my lower back, which also, I have back issues. I have a fractured spine. I have degenerative disc disease. But I've never once ever had a period affect that like this. And in my gut, I just knew something was wrong. And so I'm trying to grin and bear it. And again, I am 30. No, 31. I'm 31. I developed early, like I said, so I've gotten, the monthly visitor since I was like 8 or 9. I was a kid. I remember I definitely wasn't 10 yet. And I've had very painful ones. I've had ones where I had to miss school and stuff, but as I've gotten to be an adult, I kind of just got used to it. Some of them are still bad where I can't do much, so I would just lay back, but usually there were methods that would at least help, and that is take Pamprin or Midol, take a hot bath, get a heating pad, drink lots of fluids, all that stuff. None of it worked this time. Nothing. And I soon realized, again, as a person who deals with chronic pain issues, my pain tolerance, I've learned, is a lot higher than most people, which I never would have assumed. I kind of thought I was always like very sensitive to things, but no, I have now learned with this experience, I have a very, very, very high pain tolerance. To the point where I was in so much pain that I didn't even realize I was tired, because I wasn't, because I was pumping on adrenaline. Found this out later. To the point where I was like, oh my God, that like hot flash must have messed me up or some way. And so for context, my husband, this is before everything bad happened, he was planning to do this car guide trip thing. It's called King of the Hammers. You guys can look it up. It's a thing out in the middle of the desert where a bunch of car people go out, camp out, and have a good time. I told him I couldn't go because I had to get work done, which was true. Because like I said earlier, all of January just took me out, so I got like no work done. So I am very, very behind. I feel like every time I catch up, I'm just behind again. But quirky things. And something told me to call him and see what was going on. So I called him up. I somehow had service. He had service. And I let him know what was going on. And I'm gonna be real, I cried. I was very scared. I was alone. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. I was in so much pain. And at this point, I now realized it is now like 3 a.m. It is like 3 in the morning. I am not tired whatsoever. That like heat flash, cold, chilled nap didn't make me feel anything. Didn't make me well rested. Didn't do nothing. And I was in so much pain, I wasn't even tired. And so he talked me through some things, and we both talked about it because I didn't know what to do, because like the title of this video says, first time going to the ER. I've never been to the ER before. I usually always kind of like go to an urgent care or do things like that. I have never in my life needed to go to an ER before. So We were trying to figure out what to do because I couldn't drive. One, I was in too much pain to drive, and two, I didn't have a car to drive because my husband took the only car that I could drive for this camping trip because he was only supposed to be gone like 3 days, and what happened wasn't supposed to happen. Who would have thought? So, anyway, sorry for the funny voices. It's one of those I have to make fun of it or I cry. I was able to call my friend Pip. My friend Pip's great. They're a G. They live close to where I live, so I called them, and I was like hikey kind of crying, and I told them what was going on, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna be right there. And Pip got dressed at like 4 a.m. They took me to the ER. They waited with me the whole time. This is also the first time, so for the first time in forever, I was not diagnosed with fat, which was amazing. I swear, I was expected to do all the normal stuff of if you're an overweight person or a plus size person like me, you just kind of get used to it. No, they didn't do that this time. However, I was mansplained to, which again, I do not use that word lightly, but literally this AMAB ER nurse looked me up and down when I was talking to him about what happened and explained all the stuff. I explained the cold chills. I explained the extreme heaviness of this period. I explained the pain. I explained the passing out. I explained the not being able to, I totally forgot this. And I was also extremely nauseated, so I couldn't eat. Like, I explained all of this, and this man looked me dead in my eyes and was like, well, periods can be painful, right? And I just was like, yeah, I've been having them for nearly 20 years. I've never experienced this level of stuff, like, ever. And I've been on and off pills, like, for birth control over the years. Never had this experience of going back on them before, ever. So, lucky it took me seriously. I got seen pretty quickly. Did all the normal stuff, got naked, took a metric ton of my blood. They took so much of my blood. Made me take a urine test, and here's where, TMI, but I'm letting people know for future, because this is the kind of the point I'm making this video, is if this video helps somebody, so you understand what's going on, I'm going to talk about urine. So if you can't do that, skip to like, I don't know, a couple minutes in. So I had to take a pee test, right? Now this was the first day, technically, of my period. And when I peed in that cup, it was yellow, and there was stuff floating in it, but it wasn't blood. And that gave me a huge red flag, because if anybody who has a period knows, the first or second day, that should not be yellow. There's no way. Doesn't matter unless you have like a colostomy bag or something up. That should not be yellow. That should be like pink or red, and there should be blood in it. So the fact that was yellow, like a pure yellow, it wasn't like so dark I was hydrated, but it wasn't like so dark that it was awful. But it was definitely yellow, and like I said, I saw stuff floating in it. So there we go. Done talking about that. But I saw that, and I'm like, that's not normal. That's not normal. Oh, I'm so glad I'm here. They took the urine test, and they were like, and I could tell too, the ER nurse, the new one I got, very nice, tattooed alternative person, and they were looking at it, and I could tell they were concerned, because they were like, you said you're on your second day, and I'm like, yep, and I'm like, okay, so they didn't say anything. It was one of those, like, they said everything with their eyes. So, took the test, or at least one of the urine tests, and they're like, well, you're not pregnant. I'm like, okay, that's good, cool. I got told some very condescending, like, things like, oh, well, did you know you were pregnant? And I'm like, no. Because I will be honest, a lot of my symptoms were coinciding with a miscarriage, so I was very worried. I was like, oh my god, even though we're safe, could it have happened, I haven't been on the pill in 4 months, yada, yada, yada. The test says I'm not pregnant, whatever. And so, again, the pain levels were not good. The fact that I was, expelling stuff when I thought it was period and it wasn't period stuff, not great. So, anyway, pretty much they gave me an IV, gave me some fluids, gave me some medication, and then told me to come back for a follow-up visit, and they were going to get back to me on my results on everything else, on the urine test, on all the blood, everything else. So, did all that. and headed home. Didn't really know what was going on. Kind of worried, kind of freaking out. And then I get the magical email because I have medical insurance. And I am one of the few quote-unquote lucky people who have it. And I say lucky because, like, it's the only thing saving this fucking thing from all the bullshit. And because of that, they're like, yeah, you gotta get the app and do all this stuff. So I got the app, logged in, and got my results back. Turns out, Michi, little TwistedDisaster here, everything going on. I had an ectopic pregnancy that, how do I explain this nicely? Got cleaned out because it didn't burst. So my ovarian tube and my ovaries are fine. I just came back from, well, not now, but I got a words. I got a follow-up visit for checking everything, so I'm fine. But yeah, learned all of that and learned that, wow, I could have died if my body didn't naturally just flush that thing out. Because if you guys don't know, ectopic pregnancies are not viable pregnancies because it is a pregnancy where an egg gets fertilized outside of the womb. So cool for that. Yippee me. But yes, that explains the pain and the awful feelings I was having and the cold chills and the fact that, you know, what I thought was my period wasn't my period. And then wow, fun fact, like a couple days later, I actually had a normal period and like everything was normal and it's how it was supposed to be. And I was like, wow, it's almost like I was right. So anyway, I got slapped with a nice fat $500 bill, even with my insurance. Pretty much to be told like, cool, you could have died. Periods are rough, and I'm not diabetic and I'm not anemic. So I was like, some good news, I guess. Oh, and I lost like 5 pounds. I'm like, oh, cool. I guess. So yeah, that all that crazy shenanigans happened. So then I was recovering from that because I was put on very strict bed rest, which I did. I was good. I was a good little bean. And then shortly after that, once I started feeling like a person again, because now I'm like, wow, I went from being extremely sick in January to almost dying at the start of February to now I have a fun friend visit coming up. And my friends came and we had a blast and, it was a very much needed visit. I had a lot of fun and they're all back home now and they're safe and they're sound. But yeah, 2024 is out for blood for some reason. So yeah, the comm videos will show up eventually. I'm working on them now. There's a backlog. Yeah. Thank you for listening. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe because YouTube is dumb and they really, really, really care about that algorithmic bot. So if you guys want to support me, it's the best way to do so. If you want to check out my other social media, I'm very, very, very active on other social media. Please follow, my link in the descriptions down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time and hope that my luck please gets better because I'm tired. Anyway, love y'all. Bye-bye.